your follow-up, how to follow up with your clients or your prospects or your however you're getting your leads. How do you follow up with them? I see Sylvia has joined us as well, and a few other people. Thank you, guys. If you missed any part of the training, you can watch it again when it's on replay. We're going to leave it on my page for about a day, and then it's going to be over to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page. So if you haven't liked that page yet, please, when this is over, go right over. Don't go now, but go when this is over and like the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page. And if you have not joined me on Instagram yet, connect with me. If you're looking at business coaching, follow me at Wendy Lovejoy Trainings. But if you're looking for more personal and inspirational stuff, then you can follow me at Wendy Lovejoy Coaching. I do a lot more business posts on the Wendy Lovejoy Trainings. Getting back to your follow-up, people don't understand you're juggling a lot to become a top producer until it becomes second nature. My brother was reminding me earlier of how long I have been teaching the personality types and how well I know it. I've been teaching that since my kids were small. I actually use them because they're 3 different personalities and I'm a 4th different personality, and their father fits closer to one of my 2 sons. And so I always looked at the personality types and even in my personal family, but I actually mastered knowing what personality type I am. Because when you try to work outside of your personality type, it doesn't help you grow your business. You're uncomfortable, you're not being your authentic self, so you're building a business with clients that you're not really authentic about, and so it falls apart until you put somebody else on the team that will take on the stuff you no longer want to take on. But one of the main things you have to think about is your follow-up. So you're learning the personality types, practicing scripts and dialogues, having a mentor, and having a marketing system that helps you attract motivated sellers, not just sellers, but motivated sellers. That's number 1. And then once you attract them, not every seller you speak to is ready to sign on the dotted line, whether you send them postcards, letters, text mail, emails. So many people have different ways of marketing. Until you determine and keep growing, it's not going to give the consistency you're after. Follow-up is one of the biggest things that messes up a new investor or real estate agent, and sometimes it messes up people that have been in the industry for a while because they don't have a system. You got to start working on systems and processes when you get started in your business. So you need 5 to 12 touches. It doesn't matter how you met this person. Did you send them a letter? Did you send them a postcard? Did you buy a list and send them a text blast? Did you buy a list and send them an email blast? How did you get this person to call you back? Well, the first call, you're going to chit-chat. Remember, we talked about collecting information. And once you collect the information from any one of the worksheets that we use to collect the information, then you're going to go and analyze the property, see if it's something that you want to work with, if it's in your sphere of desire. And then you're going to make an appointment to meet with the seller, and if you can meet them in person, then you do. If not, you can, do things offline and online rather, email or what have you. But I think for beginners, you want as many deals so that you learn the business and the system in person. And then after you follow up and you meet them in person and they don't sign for you, you've got to stay and follow up. Or if you talk to them on the phone and they didn't schedule with you or give you all the information you want, you need to touch them 5 to 12 times. There was a time they used to say 7 to 9 touches is enough, but with so much noise in the world, people need to be touched in different ways. And a touch, When they get a letter from you, that's a touch. When they get a postcard, that's a touch. They get an email, that's a touch. A text, that's a touch. You leave them a voicemail, that's a touch. You text them, that's a touch. So these are different touches. You see them in person, that's another touch. Sometimes people will not move ahead with you until they've gotten at least a minimum of 5 touches from you, because they're starting to feel a little bit more confident. So the first time you talk to them, you're collecting information. The second time, you're following up with them. You are not really trying to badger them on price if you gave them price and they didn't come down. Like, let's say you spoke to a seller and their house was $1 million home or $100,000 home, but they want $2 million or $1.5 million or $150,000. Well, that's retail price, because they're saying, well, an agent told me that the house could sell for this, so this is what I want, or this is what my neighbor's house sold for, so this is what I want. So they want retail price. But when you're looking for a motivated seller is somebody that has to sell, so they will give you a discount price. That is a true motivated seller. They will give you a discount price. If they're not willing to give you a discount price, you've got to follow up. And what I see some agents do and investors is they do follow up, but they spend too much time chit-chatting. And instead of, spending time with the person, maybe 30 minutes and they keep it moving, or 15 minutes and they keep it moving, the more business you have, the less time you have to spend in front of a seller to badger them into motivation. You learn to analyze their true motivation, so you see, is this an emergency, or is this somebody I just need to follow up with? So again, the first time you're collecting information, the second time you're trying to see if they've gone, because you offered them a discount price and they said no, they want retail. So maybe a week later now, you're going to follow up again and you're going to see, have they gone down in price? And a few weeks later, you're going to follow up again and just call to chit chat. So you can follow up in these ways that I'm telling you, either every week or every 2 weeks. So after you talk to them the first time, you're going to follow up again to find out, let's say this. Let's say you sent them a postcard and they called you back, they left you a message, you call them and you filled out your lead sheet and you made an appointment to meet the seller and you got there and they don't want the price that you want. Don't badger them, don't force them, don't take a price you really don't want, because you're building your business to hurt you. So you say, okay, no problem, here's my information, we've met, this is what I can offer if anything changes. It was really nice meeting you. Again, you're speaking to them in their language, but you're going to leave. If it's a red, you're going to speak to them like a red. If it's a kinesthetic person, which is an emotional person, you're going to speak to them that way, and then you're going to leave. Once you leave, about a week or a couple of days later, let's say you met them on Monday, by Tuesday morning, they should have a thank you card from you. Thank you for meeting with me. You can go to the dollar store and buy a thank you card. If your business is not that big yet, you don't need to go and get a card company. You got to build your business to that. So you want to send them a thank you card, handwritten thank you card. Hi Mary, this is Wendy. Thank you for meeting with me yesterday. I'm looking forward to helping you in the future. If anything changes, I've enclosed my card again, even if you may have given them one. And then you write your phone number on the card as well. Talk to you soon. Call me if anything changes. And that's it. It's more of a thank you card. And it is definitely handwritten. Then about a week later, because they're probably going to call you and say, oh, Wendy, I received your card. Thank you. Nothing's changed yet. Or they're going to put your card to the side, because people aren't touching other people emotionally, and people are craving that emotional touch. So I've had people literally have 10 of my letters on their desk, 3 of my letters on their desk. Whatever I've sent them, they've held it, because it was handwritten. And so they thanked me for that thank you card. And then I call, if they call me, then we chit chat, and I say, oh, not a, just chit chat, because I'm not badgering them for price. I'm building rapport. And so a week after that, if they have called me, but they're not ready to move forward, I will call them back just to chit chat. I was just calling to see how everything's going, Mary, and I was following up. But in the meanwhile, this is follow up. You should still be doing whatever your marketing technique is, so you get a motivated seller that wants to sell now. These are sellers you've got to put. Mike Ferry, who's one of the top real estate trainers, to me, he is the top of the top. He makes his son, Tom Ferry, look like a baby to me, and Tom is very strong. One of the things Mike used to tell us was that you always want to look at your leads like having 3 pots of water on the stove. You have the pot that is boiling. Those are the people that are ready to sign or sell right now. The second pot is lukewarm. That's your follow-up. The third pot is cold. Those are the ones you just started to build a rapport with. So you're always moving them from pot 3 to pot 2 to pot 1, so that you can get them to the closing table and you start all over and do it again. This takes systems. That's why it's very, very important that you have a support team, because your business is very important. When you look at top, let's say top rappers, top real estate agents, top producing people, even people in ministry that are top ministers, they have a team of people that keep them supported correctly. I know when I go minister, and again, I call myself a teacher, and I go to other countries or to other churches, I have an online ministry, but when other people ask me to come to their ministry to teach something they've seen me teach, they usually have a team for me there. They'll give me an armor bearer, which is a person that takes care of me. This person will even carry your bag. You may not need that, but you need people to make your job easier. So the things that are an obstacle for you, you need people on your team to take care of it, so that you can focus on these 3 pots you're juggling till you get people to a closing. Rinse and repeat. Look at your bit. What rinse means, you look and see what in your system and process is not working, and then you fix it, and then you go back and go again. Your business is always teaching you what you need to fix. So you've sent them this thank you letter. Then you listen to see if they call you back, and then you call them back a week after they've called you back, or if they've not called you, then you call them back about a week later, and you're just chit-chatting. You're not saying, Mary, I just wondered if you've come down on your price yet, because I really thought by now you would have come down on your price. You're not doing that. You're not asking for anything. You're just calling, and you're listening to see if they're going to tell you. So normally my dialogue for that third call is, hi, I'm just checking in. I'm just checking in. I don't say I'm just checking in to see if you changed your price. I'm checking in to see if your husband feels any better, because they said my husband's ill and, I need to sell. I just say, I'm just checking in. And then they tell me, oh, Wendy, my husband's gotten worse. I really need to sell. Can you come over and look at the house? I had one lady whose husband had cancer, and she was like, I can't do anything till I go to the doctor. This was a lady in Riverdale. And she said, until I take him to the doctor, she goes, but of all the people that have spoken to me, you're the one that seems, the most sincere. So I want to work with you, but I can't do anything. And you don't have to worry. I'm not going to give this to anybody else. And so I just, I said, well, when are you taking your husband to the doctor? And she said, she gave me the date, which was a Thursday. And I said, okay, I'll check in with you. I waited till Friday, and I say, I'm just checking in. And she said, oh, the appointment went well. He's really not doing much better, but we can get the house started, get you to buy the house. Because again, it was a discounted price. I gave her what I would pay for the house, and she said, we'll take it. And so then I said to her, I'll come back over to get the signature. Now, sometimes I send people email the contracts to them. But sometimes when it's a situation like that, you want to make face-to-face contact and show people that you care. Open Door can't do that unless they have an agent in the area. So people are getting concerned about all these automated businesses, and you want to automate your business too, but you still want a physical touch for people that need it. So again, when you use the dialogue, I'm just checking in. You're not asking for anything, but you're listening to hear what they're going to tell you. On week number 3 or 4, depending on if they called you or not from your thank you letter, then I send them a text. And I just say, again, how's everything going? This is Wendy, just trying to, now I say, how's everything going? I don't say just checking in. And then I wait to see if they respond back and say something like, oh, this isn't the process we're at with the house. Whatever they tell me, I move accordingly. Sometimes people say, Wendy, call me back at 4 today or 7 tomorrow. I really just have a question for you and we'll be ready to move forward. So then I call them back. And that's another reason you need a calendar, because with the calendar, you can put down when you need to call people. Or if you don't have a calendar, put something as simple as a piece of loose leaf paper with a thumbtack on the wall that you see every day, and write on your to-do list, Monday, call Mary at 4 o'clock. Wednesday, call Susan at 3. Thursday, call, so that you see it and you can remind yourself. You got to start with what you can until you build your business enough so that it makes money for you. But don't take your beginning money to buy all these CRMs and all this technical stuff, the best cell phone ever, and you don't even have a mentor. Mentorship is important. Find a mentor. Invest in books and videos that are going to help you to move to the next level. And once you get in, I recently sent my son to a mentor that he really liked. And one of the things that I made sure was that he had VIP access, because with VIP access, you get to have one-on-one communication. And, he really learned more than the people that didn't have VIP access. And sometimes he'll do the same for me. He'll hear a program that I've been mentioning to him and he'll pay for me to go, because we understand the importance of mentorship. So it's more important to pay for that, because you get one new thinking, it's going to change your business and bring you the thousands. And now you can invest in the CRM and all the other, bells and whistles you're looking for. But in the beginning, prioritize the things you need. If you don't have a lot of money, you need to have the sweat equity and the time that you put in to make things work. I don't care how much money I make. There's certain things I like to do myself. And some people say, well, you've been in the industry so long, why don't you get somebody else to do that? Because that's the part I like to do. And I give away everything else. You've got to get to the point where your business is like that. And if you have a good follow-up system, that's going to happen. So again, I send them a text and I say, just how's it going? And wait for them to respond. And even though I know they know my number by now, I say, this is Wendy, and just following up, how's everything going? And then I wait for their response. Respond when you get a moment. And they usually do. Some people will say, no, I'm not ready to sell right now. Oh, I can't believe you called me. I was thinking I'm going to get in touch with you this Saturday. Are you available at 4? And now if they don't respond to that, then week 4, it's a month since you started your process, whatever your marketing tool was. So if you've been sending them postcards and you started a month ago, now they get another postcard. If you've been sending them, people buy a list and they send a text, or they buy a list and they send an email, whatever your first form of touch was, you send it again a month later. So that would be touch number 4, or 5, depending on if they responded or not. And then number 5, you revisit the price point. You've done some touches enough where you can revisit the price point. Hi, Mary, are you aware that the market is changing and the prices, can I come, I'd like to discuss with you what the market is doing right now. Or are you aware that investors are looking for houses in your area like this, and most investors are going to pay like, 20,000 less than I've offered you. And if you're really looking to get a quick sale, are you ready to talk about this again? Is there anything else I can explain to you about the price point? And then you talk to them, because now if you get to 5 or 6 touches with them, you're now 90% the one that's going to get the deal. I've literally had people by the 9th or 8th, the 5th or 6th touch say, no, I'm already talking to Wendy. Or sometimes the second touch, they'll say, no, I don't need another investor. If I'm going to give the deal to anybody, it's going to be her. Or some will say, I'm still thinking about it. Now, by number 6, if you've revisited it, you've sent them your first, the first way you met them, a month later you send it again. And then the 5th, you did a revisit of the price point. Now, touch number 7 or 6, whatever it's going to be, you send them a testimonial video of somebody you've helped. And it doesn't have to be somebody you've helped in real estate, but somebody that says, this person is great. It could be, it doesn't matter who it is. Until you build your testimonials for real estate people, use your other testimonials. Who can say you're a good coach? Who can say you're a good real estate agent? Who can say you help them solve their house issue, or you help them solve this issue? A short video, 1 minute, 2 minutes. It doesn't have to say, Wendy's been in real estate for 500 years and, every second of her 500 years she spent it with me and she carried me up the hill. And so, you don't want that. No, I had my house was going up for foreclosure, or I had a property and I need to sell it real quick, and Wendy helped me. Or Wendy helped me buy a mansion for $60,000 because she taught me the process of her yellow letters. Something short like that. So you send them something like that. Anybody that could help. And if you have an agency that you're working with, let's say you're with Keller Williams or Virtual Properties, who in your office is well known that would give a testimonial for you? Who have you, because again, real estate is about team building. You're never going to be successful in real estate if you don't understand it's about building a team. All the time it's about people. So in your office, who can you work with? When I first started at Chuck McGill's office, I mentioned to you before, he had thousands of agents. There were over 50 agents that I met alone in the office I was with, but there were only 3 that were really producing. And so I watched what they did, and then I would ask them, would you be willing, if I call this seller, and because I'm new in the business, would you be willing to tell them that you see me as a great agent? Please, you don't have to tell them how long I've been in the industry. You don't have to tell them I just started last week, but could you tell them what, because I'd ask them first, what have you seen that I do that you think I'm doing correctly? And they'd say, well, Wendy, you come into the office and you don't hang around the coffee station. You're getting on your phone, cold calling, or we hear you talking to sellers, or you've been running open houses with Chuck's Properties and you're doing a great job, things like that. I'd say, well, would you be willing to tell a seller, I'm trying to get this listing on 160th Street. Would you be willing to tell the seller that, that I'm a good agent? And that's all I need you to tell them. And because that person's name was recognized more than me. So do you have anybody in your office like that? If you're a real estate investor, who do you have that you've done any type of business with? It could be, let's say your day job is you work at the post office. Would somebody at the post office say something about you? Because you just need the touches until you build your own testimonials. And then again, you keep doing this. This is your follow-up. This is only for follow-up. But whatever you feel most comfortable with, whether it's letters, postcard, text, or emails, or driving for dollars. However you get your leads, you've got to constantly do that. It never stops. If you no longer want to do it, you got to turn it over to somebody else, but that process has to stay in place, because you still need bandit signs. Like, there's so much to marketing for motivated sellers and cash investors, which is your primary focus. You're always marketing your business. And I promise you, this training, the trainings that we're doing through the Yellow Letter Mentoring, I have people from Africa tell me this training helps them. I have people from Asia, including Hong Kong, that have said this training helps them. Because business in real estate is business in real estate anywhere in the world. It's a people business. I have people in New Jersey, Maryland, New York, Atlanta, Columbus, Albany, Georgia. I can go on, but it's the ones that take this information and implement it, not the people that just watch us every single week and something they hear and they don't implement it. So again, my mentor in real estate, Mike Ferry, used to always say to us, when you come to a meeting, when you come to, these retreats, know the one thing you want to take out of this training that you're going to implement into your business. So every Tuesday when we do these trainings, what's the one thing that stands out for you? Go and do that thing until it becomes second nature for you. So I've just given you a follow-up system. Partially, this is what I use when I'm starting my, my cold leads into my warm leads. But when they're sizzling hot, you go ahead and you get the contract and you turn it over to the title company or the attorney, and you go find your next contract. And then, follow up with your leads, follow up with your cash buyers. The two biggest lists you need in your real estate investing business. This is not your teams, your list. You need a huge list of motivated buyers, and you need a huger list of cash buyers. So keep building your list. Again, this is Wendy Lovejoy. If you like anything that you've heard tonight, we encourage you to go over to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, like the page, leave me a message. If you want the, I'm offering you guys the Dream Team Pyramid for your success building chart, your team building chart. But it's a more professional looking. This one here I just did to show you guys. And I always encourage you, use the affirmations we have there. I'm a successful real estate investor. When I started in real estate, I used to say I'm a successful real estate agent, even though I didn't even know how to get a listing yet. But when you speak this stuff to yourself, you end up living it out. So I really encourage you to go over to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, like the page, and you can watch some of our past training videos. And as I mentioned before, if you want more from me, I send little snippets of training on my on my Wendy Lovejoy trainings on Instagram. Wendy Lovejoy trainings, at Wendy Lovejoy trainings on Instagram. And of course, you're always welcome to go over to the yellowlettermentoring.com and look at some of the things we offer there. If you have any questions, some things like the scripts and dialogues are available there, and you can purchase it right there. But for any of the programs, we definitely like you to schedule a get to know you call, which you can do on the website or the Yellow Letter Mentoring, and you just schedule a 30-minute call to see if we're a perfect fit. And if nothing else out of it, you're going to get a game plan of what you need to do next to help take your business to the next level. Again, my name is Wendy Lovejoy, and I am here to help you make real estate investing or your real estate lifestyle very, very successful. When you work on yourself and you really set boundaries for your business and your life, everybody and everything around you will change for the better. So I wish you much success. And with that being said, Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to you soon. Okay? Thank you.
Wanted some more cause I'm moving it hard like this. Oh, nah, nah, nah. And I tell them again, they be calling my phone like this.